And now we can see the structures for passive voice. So for all the tenses, so we have 12 different tenses. In active structures, there is no problem, that is normal tense. Already we worked out, that also I have given in our description box for the reference. So now we can work out with the passive structures alone. So all 12 tenses we have, in that for all 12 tenses we do not have passive structures. So that also we will discuss. And my dear viewers and students, if you are watching my video for the first time, please do subscribe my channel for more videos on grammar topics. So shall we go to the topic? Yes. So now we can learn the main part, that is structures in passive. So whatever we learn, let it be in a systematic way. So we have totally 12 tenses. In that we have mainly 3, present, past and future. 3 tenses with 4 aspects. That is simple. So simple, present, past and future, and continuous. So present continuous, past continuous and future continuous. And the next aspect, perfect. So present perfect, past perfect and future perfect. And the last aspect is present perfect continuous tenses, all perfect continuous tenses. Present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous and future perfect continuous. So now we can see one by one with the structure. The first aspect is simple. So we will go with simple present and simple past and simple future. So now first 3 simple tenses, and just to show the difference, so now we are writing again all the tenses I am going to write. So now we can see here all the tenses. So first aspect, simple and continuous 3, and perfect tense 3, and last perfect continuous tense I have not written, so because it is not there in passive structures. So all perfect continuous tense, present, past and the future, we do not have any passive structures. Okay, so now we will work out with the first one in simple present tense. So first, to understand, I am giving the word S. So S indicates subject. So subject plus, so we have to have the auxiliary verbs am or is or are plus verb 3. Verb 3 that will be knowing, that is past participle of the verb, the third form of the verb. The same way for simple past tense, subject plus was or verb plus verb 3. And in the same way for simple future tense, we have subject plus will or shall to indicate it is in future plus be plus verb 3. And for present continuous tense, so we have to have again the subject, am, is or are, the be form verbs, plus being plus verb 3. And for past continuous tense, subject plus was or were, the be form, plus being to indicate it is in continuous tense and verb 3. And for future continuous tense, we do not have in the passive form. So passive structure is not there for future continuous tense. So we are writing just not possible. And present perfect tense. So already we knowing the structure for present perfect tense. So subject plus have or has, depends on the singular form or the third persons, plus verb 3, that is the base structure for present perfect tense. In passive voice, just we are adding being. So we can see here subject plus have or has to indicate it is imperfect, plus been to mention it is in passive structure. So followed by again verb 3. And now for past perfect, again the same subject plus had to indicate it is in perfect tense, plus been to mention it is in passive voice, then verb 3. And the last sentence now in the passive structures, because for the continuous perfect continuous tenses we do not have. The future perfect, again the same structures, subject and will or shall to indicate it is in future, plus have to mention it is in perfect, again been plus verb 3. So now we can see one thing very clearly for all the structure, for all the tenses. So we have verb 3, no other different words. So that is the first identification we must have while identifying the sentence, whether it is in passive voice or active voice. So if these structures are there followed, then it is passive voice. So in passive voice, we do not have verb 1 anywhere, we do not have verb 2, we do not have any present participle like ing forms. So only we have verb 3. So only we have past participle. Okay, so these are the structures. So out of all 12 tenses, we do not have for all the 12. So only we have a passive structures for 8. So 8 tenses alone we have passive structures. So here we can see future continuous tense is excluded and all perfect continuous tenses are excluded. So we have 12 minus 4, so 8 tenses we have passive structures. So this is all about the structures. So now changes are the rules to be followed. The first thing, while interchanging, so while interchanging, we need to remember about some of the basic steps. The first thing is changes of pronouns, if any. Right? And the subject verb agreement. And to identify the object, because then only we are going to interchange. So when we have transitive verbs alone, it is possible to interchange with active voice to passive voice or passive voice to active voice. So we should know what is the subject of the sentence, as well we should know about the object of the sentence. Then only it is easily possible to change it. And what is changes of pronouns? So here we can see under pronoun we have mainly the personal pronouns 7. With that only almost all we work out with examples. So I, we, you, he, she, it and they. So these 7 are the main personal pronouns. So when we write in active structure, that will be different. When you are interchanging, then that role will be different. The word will be interchanged with different words. So these 7 pronouns are changed while interchanging between vice versa, active to passive or passive to active. So I will become me, we will become us, you remains the same, you, and he will become him, and she will become her, and it will become, again remains the same, it, and they will become them. So now we can see these are the changes will happen while interchanging. For an example, I gave a book. So here we can easily replace, this is the subject and this is the main verb, the action, and this is the object of this sentence. So when you are going to interchange, so this object will become as the subject and subject again will become as an object in the sentence. So while interchanging, the structure will be, the example will be changed into a book was given by, I will not come, so by me. So the letter, the word, the person I will be changed into me. The same way, if it is we gave a book was given by us. Same, you gave, again it will be replaced with you. And if it is instead of I, he gave a book, then a book was given by him. Same way, if it is for she, then her. If it is for it, it remains it as it is. And for they, then we can replace with they gave a book, then a book was given by them. So, like these changes would happen while changing into passive or interchanging with passive to active. That is changes of pronouns. Then what is subject verb agreement? So that depends on the objects. So sometimes the subject will be in singular form, but whereas the object, so what we are going to replace as the subject in the interchanging way, so there it varies a lot. For an example, the same kind of small examples we can have. The first one I am giving: Ravi took a pen. So here it is very clear, one subject, only one finite verb we have in the past form, and a pen. It is very clear enough, that is an object of this sentence. So you know what is an object. So for easy clue I am giving, object is nothing but when we get the meanings, when we get the answers for the word what or whom or to whom. If you get any one answer for these two questions, then it is enough to make sure that it is an object. Okay, for an example, Ravi took a pen. So pen now gives the answer for what? Now Ravi gave me a pen. So here you see, Ravi gave me also there. So to whom? Then also it is called an object. Sometimes we can even conclude with Ravi gave me, enough. Pen is not needed. Right? So we can have either way, even for what or to whom. So that is called object. So now while interchanging, we need to be very careful enough about the subject verb agreement. So what does this mean here? In the sense that depends on the objects, depends on the subjects while interchanging, that will have a role. For an example, Ravi is giving a book. So it is very clear, it is in active structure, active voice. So Ravi is the subject and giving is the action done by the subject Ravi, and a book, it is an object. So what is an object? That will be knowing that. If not, it is very simple how to identify an object in this sentence. So when we get the meaning of the answer for the word what or to whom, then it is called an object of the sentence. So I can give you one more example so that it is very easy for you. So Ravi is giving them. So to whom? Them. Then that is also can be a kind of object. So sometimes we have two objects in the same sentence. Now for example, Ravi is giving a book to them, or Ravi is giving them a book. So either way we can take. So now let us come back. We are discussing about subject verb agreement. So anyhow, these two examples also or possible enough to change into passive structure. So Ravi is giving a book to them. That can be replaced into passive voice in two different ways. Let us not confuse with the two objects right now. So just I am getting that. With one simple example we will work out so that it is easy. So Ravi is giving a book. So a book, that is subject. Now the object is going to be subject in the sentence passive structure, a book. And since it is in singular, a book, so we are taking the verb, singular verb is, and since it is in ing form, so continuation, it is in the continuous tense. So to indicate it is in continuous tense, so we are having the verb being plus verb 3, the structure is, so give, gave, given. So a book is being given by Ravi. So now Ravi is singular, a book is singular. So sometimes we don't have any confusions. We are considering only this. But sometimes, so we get confused with this. This we should not consider while changing because it will become as an object of the sentence. So here the main thing is subject. So already is there. So is we are carrying. So to indicate it is in ing form, being also will have. So the structure is ready. Some cases, sometimes. So instead of this, Ravi is giving books. Then it is in plural. Books. It is in plural. So what else can be? Then here we can replace books, the subject. So since it is in plural sense, we are not going to have is over there. Instead of that, we are going to have are to indicate it is in plural. So are being given by Ravi, that is same. So this is called actually subject verb agreement. So depends on the word, depends on the objects or subject, either way. That only should be considered. So that too in the structure when we write, the first part always will be the subject. So depends on the subjects, the verbs will carry forward. So whether it is singular, whether it is plural, any of tense related, that will be knowing. So this is called subject verb agreement. So while interchanging, these are the things we should keep it in our mind. The changes of pronouns and the changes of verb, subject verb agreement. Got it? Then in our upcoming videos, we can see all the examples for all the tenses. So there are 12 different tenses. We'll have the 12 tenses structures for active voice. And so what are the tenses are possible enough to change into passive voice? That is only just 8 tenses. That also we will have step by step, one by one, sentence by sentence, all the tense wise we can see in our upcoming videos. So thank you viewers. Thank you for watching.